الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا ما علمتنا وزدنا علما. We're discussing about Surah Yusuf, and we came to the point that Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he had to face so many problems, and finally he was in the palace of Aziz Misr. Because he was there, and Aziz Misr's wife, she was there, and she kind of fell in love with Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam as she invited him for the sin. But Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he denied, and he said, no, ma'adallah, inna rabbi ahsana mathwai. He took the refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a consequence, he had to go to prison. When he went to prison, what happened in prison? That's what Allah Ta'ala started mentioning from here, ayah number 36. We stop here. وَدَخَلَ مَعَهُ السِّجْنَ فَتَيَانِ قَالَ أَحَدُهُمَا إِنِّي أَرَانِي. Two young men entered the prison with him. One of them said, I see myself pressing wine. The other said, I see myself carrying bread on my head, and birds were eating thereof. Tell us the interpretation of this. We see you, the virtuous people. If you remember that Allah Ta'ala, as a bounty, as a ni'mah that has mentioned that Allah Ta'ala has taught him كَذَلِكَ يَجْتَبِيكَ رَبُّكَ وَيُعَلِّمُكَ مِنْ تَأْوِيلِ الْحَدِيثِ, that Allah Ta'ala will teach you the interpretation of the dream. That was the first dream that Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he had seen the dream. إِنِّي رَأَيْتُ أَحَدَ عَشَرَ كَوْكَبًا وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ رَأَيْتُهُمْ لِي سَاجِدِينَ. And here, his inmates in prison, they have seen this dream. When they see the dream, they came to Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. قَالَ أَحَدُهُمَا إِنِّي أَرَانِي أَعْصِرُ خَمْرًا. When they come to Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, they look at Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. He was a very nice person, and he was all the way, it's mentioned in the books of Tafseer that Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he was a Nabi, he was a prophet, and he grew up in a family of a prophet, like Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam, and his grandfather was a prophet, and great-grandfather was a prophet. Look at this, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, his character was so much that each and every person, they recognize him, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, in the whole prison. They know how he carried himself, like how his akhlaq was, his characters was, like his morals was, everything was. He used to be nice to be with each and every person, and it comes, he used to serve other people during the day. At night, he used to stand up in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he recite and he make dua, and all night he will be in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam used to be. Because of looking at him, these people, they mention, Inna naraka min al-muhsinin, that we see you a virtuous person, you are from among the virtuous people, it looks like you are a nice person, and we can ask our interpretation of the dream. And this is the big blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not everyone can interpret the dream. This was the ilm, and this was the knowledge was granted to Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, at this moment, as a da'i, as a person who's calling people towards haqq and towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, قَالَ لَا يَأْتِيكُمَا طَعَامٌ تُرْزَقَانِهِ إِلَّا نَبَّأْتُكُمَا بِتَأْوِيلِهِ قبل أن يأتيكما ذلكما مما علمني ربي إني تركت ملة قوم لا يؤمنون بالله وهم بالآخرة هم كافرون. This one, he said, the food which you receive daily will not reach you, but I would have given you the interpretation thereof before food comes to you. At this moment, we have to understand from perspective of a da'i. When you have to give da'wah, when you have to talk about Deen, Allah, Quran, Islam, anything connected to religion or to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you have to wait for the good timing, for certain timing, not because you want to just throw it down to their throat. Basically, you just wait, not like you're always talking about deen, you're always talking about the Quran, always talking about this and that. This way people become bored, and people will try to avoid you. Whenever they see you, this person is coming, he's going to start talking about something, it's better we just move away from this person. You should not have a personality like this. Even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he does not, every time, even though the mission of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was this, nothing else but to call people towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards the tawheed, towards the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even then, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to look at the opportunity where people are in the mode, they can listen and they can take this message. Then Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to deliver. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he is doing the same thing here. The food is supposed to come and they're waiting for the food. This period we should utilize it, because once you are in prison, just like we are in lockdown, we're not going anywhere, they were in prison and now they have to wait for the food. And Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam said, before food come, let me tell you something, because he said, now you cannot go, I will interpret your dream, but let me see, ذَلِكُمَا مِمَّا عَلَّمَنِي رَبِّي, and this is from what Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has taught me. Then he introduced himself, وَاتَّبَعْتُ مِلَّةَ آبَاءِ Ibrahim, I had followed the religion of my forefathers, Ibrahim and Ishaq and Yaqub. And then he mentioned Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then after that he asked, Ya sahiba sijni arbabu mutafarriquna khayruna min Allahul wahidul qahhar. O my fellow prisoners, are several gods at variance better, are Allah? And then after that, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he interpreted the dream. يا صاحب السجن أما أحدكما فيسقي ربه خمرا وأما الآخر فيصلب فتأكل الطير من رأسه قضي الأمر الذي فيه تستفتيان. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam said, O fellow prisoners, as for one of you, he will serve wine to his master. As for the other, he will be crucified and the birds will eat off his head. Then Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, when he interpreted the dream, these people, they said, no, we didn't see the dream, we were just making it up, we are just saying it, we just wanted to know, something like that. When they started saying this, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam said, قُضِيَ الْأَمْرِ الَّذِي فِيهِ تَسْتَفْتِيَانِ. What did he say? The matter regarding which you inquired has been decided. That's it. It will happen now. Because even though if you did not see the dream, you asked and I interpreted, that's it, this happened. Because of that, it comes in the hadith as well. Prophet ﷺ has mentioned, then the gist of this is basically, when you see a dream, do not just mention dream to each and every person. If he says whatever he interpreted the dream, or when he hears the dream, if he says something, oh, this is going to happen, Allah will make it happen that way. That's why we have to be very careful who we are narrating our dreams to. And when you are narrating the dreams, you should not add things in it on your own just to make it good, look good. You should not do it. This is because considered is kidb. It's considered that you're lying, even though about your dream. This is what we have to be very careful. Whatever we see, just mention it. And the habibin aw labibin. Either you know the person, he is very good to you and he's connected, he's your friend, and he is the one who is beloved to you. If this is the person, you can mention your dream, or the person who has the knowledge how to interpret the dream. Otherwise, don't mention your dream to each and every person. As long as you don't mention this dream to anyone, that will be in the air. That will not harm you, that will not do anything to you. But if you mention to someone and someone interpreted, they gave some kind of expression, then that will happen. That's why we have to be very careful about our dreams. Dreams are also, there are three types of dreams. One type of dream, they come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and these type of dreams, basically, you will remember them vividly, and Allah tabarak wa ta'ala will make, give you message or glad tiding or something, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is other dream, that whatever you do during the day that you see in your dream, and the third type of dreams are basically from takhweefu shayateen. Takhweefu shaitan is basically, shaitan comes in your dream and try to scare you and try to make you, like sometimes you're killing someone is killing you, running after you, and you are drowning or something like that. These type of, you just try to scare the believer. That's what his job. Even he tries in his dream as well. So that's why when you have this type of dreams, Prophet ﷺ has told us what to do. Like just say it, on your right, on your left side, and say, "A'udhu billahi min sharri hadhihi ru'ya." I seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from this dream. And then you go to sleep. Say the kalima and then you go to sleep, nothing will happen. And here Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he mentioned to the person who's supposed to be freeing, وَقَالَ لِلَّذِي ظَنَّ أَنَّهُ نَاجٍ مِنْهُ اذْكُرْنِي. Yusuf alayhi salam said to the one whom he thought would be saved from the two. See, according to their dream, one of them was supposed to be saved. He will be releasing from prison. So Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he used all the means whatever he can, because he was in a innocent person. He did not do, and he is being punished. The crime, like he was being punished for the crime he never committed. That was going on with Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And at this moment, he used the means. This person is going to be released from the prison, and he told him, when you go there, remember to mention your master that there is a person sitting in the prison, and he did not commit a crime. فَلَبِثَ فِي السِّجْنِ بِضْعَ سِنِينَ. And Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he did this. And the person who went out and he was serving the king, he completely forgot about Yusuf alayhi salam. And this is again, we can say this is happening from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was the reason that Allah tabarak wa ta'ala want him to forget, and he forgot. And there is another way that Allah tabarak wa ta'ala made it a way, remind him. وقال الملك إني أرى سبع بقرات سمان يأكلهن سبع نجاف وسبع سنبلات خضر وأخرى يابسات. The king said, I see in a dream 7 fat cows whom 7 lean cows are devouring, and then 7 green ears of corn are the 7 other dry. Look at this, like the king, he had a dream. Because of this dream, it's an amazing dream. In this dream, no one can interpret this dream. What they said, قالوا أضغاث وأحلام, they said they are imaginary dreams. That's what they said. وَمَا نَحْنُ بِتَأْوِيلِ الْأَحْلَامِ بِعَالِمِينَ. And we do not know how to interpret such dreams. We do not know how to interpret such a dream. We do not know. Then the person who was there with Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he remembers, وَقَالَ الَّذِي نَجَى مِنْهُمَا وَادَّكَرَ بَعْدَ أُمَّةٍ أَنَا أُنَبِّئُكُم بِتَأْوِيلِهِ فَأَرْسِلُونِ. Ayah number 45. The one who was saved from the 2 prisoners remembered after much time, and then he said, finally, he said, send me to Yusuf, and then I'll go to Yusuf. And then he came to Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, and he mentioned the dream. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam interpreted the dream. Not only he interpreted the dream, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he gave a suggestion as well, the solution, how to come out this dilemma. قَالَ تَزْرَعُونَ سَبْعَ سِنِينَ دَابًا. Ayah number 47. He said, you shall sow for 7 years persistently. Whatever you harvest, leave it in its extra except in air, except a little which you may eat. But Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he mentioned all of this. For 7 years it will happen, and then drought will come, and that the drought, how to handle the drought. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he mentioned everything. This person, he went to the king and he mentioned to him, وَقَالَ الْمَلِكُ ائْتُونِي بِهِ. After listening to this interpretation of the dream and the solution for the problem to come, then the king, he said, bring him to me. Bring him to me. فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُ الرَّسُولُ. When the messenger went to him, قَالَ ارْجِعْ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ. Then the Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, go back to your master and ask him what is the truth about the woman who had cut their hands. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, look at this, like here, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself mentioned, if I was there in the place of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, and after these many years, someone comes from the king and he said, now you are free, he's calling you to free. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I would have just come out. But Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he did not come out, and he stays there, and he said, yes, I can come, but I want that matter to be clear. I want that matter to be clear before I come out. The Mufassirin, they have mentioned here, why Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he is deeply thinking here, After these many years, according to some Mufassirin, that was 5 years, some of them they said 7 years, some of them they said even 9 years or plus, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu salam were in prison. Imagine that type of prison, like whatever facilities they have at that time. Anyway, in this kind of situation, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu salam, he's supposed to come right away. He did not come out, and he said, okay, go to clear my matter. The Mufassirin, they have mentioned here, Yusuf alayhi salatu salam is thinking way far. If he would have come out right away, later on people might say, yes, he was accused of doing this, but because king liked him, that's why he asked him to come out of the prison, but it's still, the case is still same. Like we see most of the time when the government changes, like from Democrats to Republican, Republican to Democrat, how these people do. And back home, we all know how things will go. Like opposition, how they treat with opposition. That's what they say. They might say because the king likes him, that's why he took him out of the prison. And that will be still with him all the time. With Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Being a prophet, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he wants this to be clear first before he comes out. That's why he said, go ask him to clear this matter. And then he called, the king said to them, the woman, what is the truth about the matter when you tried to seduce Yusuf? When you tried to seduce Yusuf, what was the matter? They replied, Allah forbid, we know of no evil against him. They said, no evil. قُلْنَا حَاشَ لِلَّهِ مَا عَلِمْنَا عَلَيْهِ مِنْ سُوءٍ قالت امرأة العزيز الآن حصحص الحق. The Aziz's wife spoke. The truth has now been exposed. It was I who had tried to seduce him, and he is surely truthful. That was the testimony from her own self, like wife of Aziz. Then after that, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he came out, and then he was called by king. وَقَالَ الْمَلِكُ ائْتُونِي بِأَسْتَخْلِصُ لِنَفْسِي. The king said, bring him before me. I will take him for my special service. أَسْتَخْلِصُ لِنَفْسِي فَلَمَّا كَلَّمُوا قَالَ إِنَّكَ الْيَوْمَ لَدَيْنَا مَكِينٌ أَمِينٌ. When he talked to Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he basically right away he just selected him and he said, you be with me. إِجْعَلْنِي عَلَى خَزَائِنِ الْأَرْضِ. Then Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, after that he said, place me in charge of the treasures of the land. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam said, just make me in charge of this, I will take care of it. وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And then after that, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has mentioned the drought came, and because of the drought, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was in charge, and he was distributing the food and everything. At this moment, these people, brother and Yusuf, like the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, they came. وَجَاءَ إِخْوَةُ يُوسُفَ فَدَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ. The brothers of Yusuf came and they went to him. He recognized them, whereas they did not recognize him, because Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was young, and now he's grown up, and then he became almost like a king. Now he's distributing the food, and these people, they came to get the food from Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. There are many reasons they could not recognize him, like when he was young and now he's older. And the other thing is, according to some ulama, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam did not come in front of them. He was just sitting, like in a shade or something, like there was something. He was hiding from them, not directly. And the other thing was, they think, even if he looks like Yusuf, like Yusuf, why Yusuf can't be here? How can Yusuf be here? Like we put him in the well, and he went to the market of the Egypt, and he was sold as a slave. He can't be king. That's what they're thinking. But Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he recognized him. وَلَمَّا جَهَزُهُمْ بِجَهَازِهِمْ قَالَ أَتُونِي بِأَخٍ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَبِيكُمْ. When they were putting, like the ration, you say, like the food and everything, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, they asked him to bring your brother when you have a brother, because Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he knew he has another brother, Binyamin. The Binyamin was not there with these people, with these brothers. So Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he asked them to bring next time your brother. If you do not bring him, then you will not get your food for next time, because next year when you come, Munyamin kaydu fakhana. Then the ayah number 64, قَالَ لَآمَنُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ اللَّهَ كَمَا أَمِنْتُكُمْ. Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he is concerned about his safety of his children. Look at this, like being a human being, even though he's a prophet, but still he is concerned for the safety of his children. He said, قَالَ لَآمَنُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ. He said, can I trust you with him just as I had trusted you with his brother. And then this time he said, Amantukum ala akhi fallahu khairun hafidha. So Allah is the best guardian, and He alone is the most merciful of those who show mercy. Then Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, Hadrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he sent Binyamin with these brothers. And then he had taken a covenant with them. Make sure you bring Binyamin safely back. قال لن نسلم معكم حتى تأتوني موثقا من الله إلا أن يحاط بكم فلما أتوا موثقا قال الله على ما نقول وكيل. When they were leaving, look at the ayah number 67. In this ayah, Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam advised them. وقال يا بني لا تدخلوا من باب واحد ودخلوا من أبواب متفرقة. He said, O sons, do not enter from one gate, instead enter from different gates separately. Why Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam is mentioned this? Because in the first journey when they were going to the Egypt, he did not say anything. But second time when they were going to Egypt, then Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he advised them not to enter from one gate, but from different gates you should enter. There are multiple reasons the ulama has given. Could be one of them, because this time, the last time, the king has dealt with them very gently, very nicely, that everyone was amazed, look at these people. The king gave them food and he returned their money as well, everything, they did a very wonderful job with them. This time they are coming back, the people will see, oh, these people are back again, they might do some type of hasad, jealousy, this type of thing. Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he mentioned this. The other reason for ulama they have mentioned, that could be a reason for evil eye, because there are 12 brothers are going, and they are mashallah young, and they are very strong, and they are very beautiful, good looking, and imagine if they all go from one gate, everybody will be looking at them, and they might cast an evil eye. To protect them from this evil eye, Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam did whatever he could do, and he said, but don't enter from one gate. If you do enter from the different gates, this way you will not catch eye in people. Then he said, وَمَا غُنِيَ عَنْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Then Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, I cannot save you from any order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I cannot save you. Yes, I can make you tadbir, I can do the means, but I cannot save you from this. If there is something is going to happen, that will happen. I can just give you the tadbir. That's why it says, وَمَا غُنِيَ عَنْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ إِنَّ الْحُكْمَ إِلَّا عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ وَعَلَيْهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَهُمْ أَبُوهُم مَا كَانَ يُغْنِي عَنْهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا حَاجَةً فِي نَفْسِ يَعْقُوبَ قَضَاهَا وَإِنَّهُ لَذُو عِلْمٍ لِمَّا عَلَّمْنَاهُ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. And then after that, ayat number 69, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has mentioned, وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَى يُوسُفَ أَوَى إِلَيْهِ أَخَاهُ قَالَ إِنِّي أَنَا أَخُوكَ فَلَا تَبْتَئِسْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said to Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he mentioned when they presented themselves before Yusuf, he kept his brother Binyamin with him and said, I am your brother, do not grieve then over whatever they did. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, don't worry, I'm your brother. He exposed himself, and I'm your brother, and whatever, don't worry, now you going to stay with me. How? Look at this, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala taught him something, and he followed that. فَلَمَّا جَهَزُوا بِجَهَازِهِمْ جَعَلَ السِّقَايَةَ. When they were preparing their provision for them, he placed the drinking cup in his brother's provisions. See, an announcer then announced, O you people of the caravan, you are certainly thieves. That's what happened. The cup that was placed in the bag of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi brother Binyamin. Then they have the back and forth conversation. What happened? They said, we are missing our cup, and then we are not the people. They mention, that we did not come to make mischief in the land. We are just here to get our food and then leave. And then finally they decided, what will happen if we find the cup with you guys, then what should we do? Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has mentioned, this is what we have taught Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, kadhalika kidna li Yusuf. Look at this. Eventually he took out the cup from his brother's bag. This is strategy. This did we suggest to Yusuf. This is Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying that we taught this to Yusuf and to do this. That's what they did. What happened was, that was the law of the land, if someone steals something, that person should be in prison. That's it. If you have something else, okay, instead of him, can you take someone else? Instead of this, can you do this? We do not do this. Whoever steals something, we just keep him in prison. That's how it is. That was the rule, and that's how Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam did to keep his brother with him. And from here, we learn we should follow the law of the land. This is also important to follow the law of the land. This is must. And this is also is a kind of, like you call the trick that Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam did to keep his brother. This is called hila, and this is halal trick. The halal trick means what Allah Ta'ala taught him. Fuqaha, they also have the Kitabul Hiyal, that to how to follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to avoid, not to stay away from commands of Allah. No, how best we can follow the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's called hila. فلما استيئسوا منه خلصوا نجيا قال كبيرهم ألم تعلموا أن أباكم قد أخذ عليكم موثقا من الله. And they keep going, like after this happened, Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, these brothers, they went back to Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam and they said, this is what happened. Then Allah tabarak wa ta'ala has mentioned that Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, what did he do? وَتَوَلَّى عَنْهُمْ وَقَالَ يَا أَسَفَ عَلَى يُوسُفَ وَابْيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْحُزْنِ فَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. He turned away from them and he said, oh my sorrow over Yusuf. His eyes became white out of grief. Look at this, Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, when he heard the news, بَلْ سَوَّلَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ عَسَى اللَّهُ أَن يَأْتِيَنِي بِهِمْ جَمِيعًا. At this time, second time, when they came and they gave this news to Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, what did Yaqub alayhi salam say? This is very important to learn this from ayah number 83. He said, nay, your heart have concocted a story. Patience is now the best. Perhaps Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring all of them to me. This is the word. Asallahu an ya'tiyani bihim jamia. This is what Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam he mentioned, and this is the second time he mentioned. First time he did not say anything when Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was, like put in the well. But this time he knew something happened, and this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will bring them back to me. This is what happened. And then قالوا تالله تفتو تذكر يوسف حتى تكون حرضا. Look at this ayah number 86. قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله. He said, I only express my anguish and sorrow before Allah. And as a human being, you should submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should cry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You mention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should not mention to people this is not basically, you say this is not allowed. It's not like that. You are allowed to talk to people. You can have their sympathy and people can talk to you, but the reality is what you're going to receive from people, just words, okay, this and that. But look at this, the solution is going to come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The real solution is going to come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then that's why we're supposed to admit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we are sorrow, we are grief, whatever problem we are going through, we should mention before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah tabarak wa ta'ala has mentioned, Ya bani yadhabu fatahassasu min Yusufa wa akhihi wa la tayasu min rawhillah. O sons, go and search for Yusuf and his brother. At this moment, Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he asked them, go, now you search for Yusuf and la tayasu min rawhillah. And he said, and do not despair of the beneficence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mercy, the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is, look at this, when you go there and look for the Yusuf and his brother, you will find them. Allah tabarak wa ta'ala, do not be despair. Innahu la yay'asu min rawhillahi lil qawmil kafir. Surely none despair of the Allah's beneficence except those who are unbelievers. The believer, you should never give up hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what Allah tabarak wa ta'ala says mentioned here through Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam. فلما دخلوا عليه قالوا يا أيها العزيز مسنا وأهلنا الضر وجئنا ببضاعة مزجاة فأوف لنا الكيل. In the ayah number 88, look at this. When they presented themselves before Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, they said, O Aziz, hardship has afflicted us and our family. We have brought merchandise of low value. Give us in full then the measure and be charitable to us. Surely Allah rewards charitable. These people, they came back, and this is basically third time they are coming back. And this time they didn't have much to offer, but they said, we have whatever we have, we brought it. Musjatin, and you give us fa'ufil and al-kay. You give us in full. Then Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu salam, at this moment, ayah number 89, he asked them, قال هل علمتم ما فعلتم بيوسف وأخيه أنتم جاهلون. He said, do you know what you have done to Yusuf and his brother when you lacked understanding? When you do not know? You know what had happened? What did you do? At this moment, it's just, they recognize right away. They asked Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, very next ayah number 90, قالوا أئنك لأنت يوسف. They asked, are you really Yusuf? Who knows? Nobody knows other than these brothers and Yusuf alayhi salam, whatever happened with Yusuf alayhi salam. Because of that, they can kind of connected their, like darts, say, must be Yusuf. Other than Yusuf, no one else knows this story, what had happened to Yusuf. قالوا إنك لأنت يوسف. Are you really Yusuf? قال أنا يوسف وهذا أخي. He replied, I'm Yusuf and this is my brother. أنا يوسف وهذا أخي, and Binyamin is here. قد من الله علينا. And then Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, Allah has been kind to us. قد من الله علينا إنه من يتقي ويصبر. And then Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned, this being kind to us is not only to us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind to those who said, surely whoever is fearful and patient, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala will show His mercy to them, just like Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala showed mercy to us. إِنَّهُ مَن يَتَّقِ وَيَصْبِرْ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And these brothers, they submitted right away. قَالُوا تَاللَّهِ لَقَدْ أَثْرَكَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا. And they said, by Allah, Allah has indeed chosen you over us. لَقَدْ أَثْرَكَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا. At this moment, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he is not, saying anything to them. They said, لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. Ayah number 92, he said, there is no reproach on you this day. لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. يغفر الله لكم وهو أرحم الراحمين. And may Allah forgive you. Allah Ta'ala is أرحم الراحمين. At this juncture, we should understand the same thing happened. Allah Ta'ala revealed this surah for the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam when he was going very difficult time. If you remember in the beginning, last session we had discussed that Sayyidah Khadija radiallahu anha, she passed away, Abu Talib passed away, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Taif he came, these three big things happened, and after that Allah Ta'ala has revealed this surah. The same thing happened with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like brothers of Yusuf, they did to Yusuf alayhi salam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's family members and his own people of Quraysh, they did the same thing with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and finally they expelled Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to leave his own city, and he went there, he stayed in Medina, and Allah Ta'ala gave him power, and he came back as a Fateh Makkah. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on the day of Fateh Makkah, when they asked these people, they come in front of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he asked them, what do you think I'm going to do? Then they praised Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ said, I will say what Yusuf ﷺ said to his brothers, لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. The same ayah the Prophet ﷺ repeated for them. لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم. And these people become اذهبوا بقميصي هذا فالقوا على وجه بيتي بصيرا. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, at this juncture, he gave his shirt and he said, go take this shirt and put it on eyes of my father, Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam. Then Allah Ta'ala will bring his eyesight back, because he lost his eyesight because he was crying over Yusuf and his brother Binyamin. He was crying. Finally he lost his eyesight. But Allah Ta'ala showed the mu'jiza. Allah Ta'ala showed the miracle of the shirt of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. If you remember, it was the same shirt, like when Yusuf, the shirt also is said 3 times. There was a shirt brothers brought with the fake blood on it, and there was the shirt who decided with the the Aziz Misr's wife pull the shirt of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. That's what this is the 3rd time. This is the same. This is a shirt, and it could be same or could be different shirt, but the shirt of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. This is 3 times. فلما جاء البشير ألقاه على وجهه بصيرا. Anyway, the last Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he mentioned فلما دخلوا على يوسف آوى إليه أبويه وقال ادخلوا مصر إن شاء الله آمنين. When they went before Yusuf, who all of them, the whole caravan, they came. Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam also and his family came to Misr. That's what Allah Ta'ala is mentioning from here. فَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَى Yusuf. When they entered before Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he took his parents to himself and said, enter Egypt if Allah wills, confidently. Allah Ta'ala says, "Udkhulu inshallah Misra inshallah aminin." وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ وَخَرُّوا لَهُ سُجَّدًا. Here he raised his parents onto the throne and they all fell in prostration before him. They all did sajda to Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. That sajda was okay at that time for their sharia. وَقَالَ يَا بَتِي هَذَا تَأْوِيلُ رُؤْيَاي مِنْ قَبْلُ. He said, "Oh father, this is the interpretation of my previous dream." When Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, when he was young, when he saw 11 stars and like 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر, he said, "This is the قَدْ جَعَلَهَا رَبِّي حَقًّا." And then he said, "My sustainer has made it true. قَدْ جَعَلَ رَبِّي حَقًّا وَقَدْ أَحْسَنَ بِي إِذْ أَخْرَجَنِي مِنَ السِّجْنِ." He was very kind to me when he took me out of the prison and brought you from the village after Shaitan has sown discord between me and my brothers. Like this, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, beautifully he phrased this. He is not connecting anything. He's not pointing finger towards his brothers. He said, whatever happened, it happened. The shaitan, he's blaming the shaitan. Shaitan did this, but Allah Ta'ala did favor this way. And shaitan did this, but Allah Ta'ala favored me this way. بعد أن نزغ الشيطان بيني وبين إخوتي إن ربي لطيف لما يشاء إنه هو العليم الحكيم. And then Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ayah number 101, he said, ربي قد آتيتني من الملك وعلمتني من تأويل الأحاديث فاطر السماوات والأرض. O my sustainer, you have given me some power and taught me the interpretation of things. So that was a big thing for Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And then he says, Fatir as-samawati wal-ard, O creator of the heavens and the earth, Anta waliyyi fid dunya wal akhirah. You alone are my guardian in this world and in the hereafter. أنت ولي في الدنيا والآخرة توفني مسلما وألحقني بالصالحين. And then Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam made dua, make me die on Islam and join me with the righteous. Look at this, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he made the dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, make me die as a Muslim, as one who submit to you, and then join me with the righteous. Basically he's asking to join me with my forefathers Ishaq and Ibrahim alayhi salam and the prophets. This is a very powerful dua that Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam made. We all should memorize this dua and we should make this dua. Anta waliyyi fid dunya wal akhirah fatir as-samawati wal ard anta waliyyi fid dunya wal akhirah tawaffani musliman wa alhiqni bis salihin. O creator of the heavens and the earth, anta waliyyi, you are my protector, you are my friend, you are my guardian fid dunya wal akhirah, in this world and in the hereafter. Tawaffani musliman wa alhiqni bis salihin. It's a very powerful dua of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. This is what Allah Ta'ala has mentioned in Surah Yusuf. There are many lessons. There are a lot of lessons, like ulama, they have written the books just for about Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam's story. They wrote the volumes, like on volumes. Why? Because there are so many nasa'id, so many ibrats, so many lessons to learn from the story of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq, the courage that we also take these lessons and we learn these lessons in our life. Wa akhu dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.